Every tea lover needs to read this magazine. Hi there, I'm Mike and you're watching The Tea Letter. On this channel, we explore ways that tea can make our lives richer and more full of connection. In today's video, I want to talk about one of my favorite things, the magazine 80 Degrees. Why do I love this magazine? Well, simply put, it's a magazine about the culture of tea. See, most people think about tea, and their general impression is that it's from somewhere, maybe China. It probably comes in a tea bag, and it's likely served with milk and sugar. But tea is so much more vast than just the bags that you get off the grocery store shelf. So this magazine tries to help us understand more about the huge world of tea, the culture that it comes from, the people who make it, and many other things that surround tea that so many people who aren't into tea the way that I am have no idea even exists. One of the main things I love about 80 Degrees is the art. So many places you go on the internet and you read about tea use the same generic photos of tea fields or teacups. You know, it comes from Unsplash or what have you. There is no generic stock photography in here. Every single piece that's inside each one of the issues has its own photography, or even in many cases, custom hand-drawn illustration. For example, in issue 2, in the essay about Japanese tea ceremony, there's a number of lovely hand-drawn illustrations on the subject of tea ceremony that go along with the writing itself. And then right after that, in that same issue, there's a photo essay that is called Chanoyu, and it's showing the process of a woman who's actually going through a temae, a tea preparation that would be used in the tea room as part of a tea gathering. Also in issue number 3, in the essay In Search of Gushu, which is old tree tea material, there are a number of beautiful photographs showcasing the journey through China's tea mountains as they search for this rare and highly prized tea material. It really goes to show how much care is put into crafting each issue of 80 Degrees. That's something that I definitely resonate with as someone who cares a lot about tea myself. I also love that each issue comes with its own custom bookmark that is a little piece of the illustration on the front cover and the back cover. You can see here. I love these bookmarks because every time I get a new issue, I can pull it out and of course use it in the issue itself, but then when I'm done, I can take it and put it into other books, which I have done. For example, in my issue of Rediscovering Rikyū, I have the bookmark from edition number 8, right here. These bookmarks, much like the spirit of tea itself, means that there's something that we can take with us and continue using over time, multiple times, not just once and then done. The second thing I love about 80 Degrees is the way that they choose their themes for each individual issue. And then the articles, indeed even the art on the piece itself, has something to do with that theme. For example, in issue number 9, one of the main pieces is an interview with this guy, Craig Maud, who some of you may know, some of you may not. But he's a writer, a photographer, a guy who walks around Japan and shows us something interesting about Japanese culture as he goes through old cafes, rural parts of the country to try to see another side that you don't normally see in towns like Tokyo and other major cities around Japan. So in keeping with the theme of sort of walking as a meditation, you can see here what looks like a monk walking around a cup of tea. So even the cover will give us some idea of what it is that's in store for us when we read through the articles in this latest issue. And then of course there's the writing itself, which is as carefully crafted and constructed as every other part of the publication. Some of my favorite articles I've read so far are in issue 2, which the theme largely covers Japanese tea, which is something that's very near and dear to my heart. So there are many pieces in issue 2 that I really liked, including an introduction to Japanese tea ceremony, and also the photo essay I mentioned earlier showing the process of going through a temae. I also really liked in issue 5 when they featured an interview with James Hoffmann. If you're a coffee person, you may know about James Hoffmann. He's sort of a coffee superstar. I myself am not a coffee drinker, but I came across his YouTube channel and just fell in love with watching him talk about coffee in the same way that I like to talk about tea. In issue 8, there's an essay that's a photo essay on tea havens, and this is a curated selection of photos from Instagram of different tea people showing off the place where they have tea in their homes or somewhere they often go to have tea together. And there's so much more than that. There are so many pieces that take us into all the different nooks and crannies and corners of tea all around the world. And ultimately, that's what I like so much about this publication. Yes, it says the culture of tea, but really the culture of tea is just culture. It's just humanity. Tea has been around for so long. It's been present in so many different places and spaces in our history and our culture that to talk about tea is really just to talk about civilization and the development of mankind itself. And I think that if there's one thing I would like to help communicate to people through my YouTube channel and my work writing about tea and talking about tea online and in the real world is just that, is that really tea is life and life is tea. So if that sounds interesting to you at all, then you definitely want to give 80 Degrees a look. The last thing I love about 80 Degrees is that it's affordable. It's priced at 15 euros, which at the time of this video is about $16.50 USD. And when you add international shipping from Europe to America on top of that, it winds up coming out to about $24 and some change, maybe close to $25. For my money, I can't think of many of the things that are more worthy of $25. I mean, yeah, I could get more tea, but heaven knows I have enough of that. So what you should do now is go over to read80.com and check out some of the issues. See if maybe there's one that you would be particularly interested in reading, or maybe subscribe so that you can be sure to get the next edition whenever it comes out. And while you're thinking about subscribing, consider subscribing to this YouTube channel for more videos about tea and tea culture. And lastly, maybe check out this video right here on the 3 reasons why you should get started drinking Japanese tea today. Thanks for watching, and until next time, happy drinking.